Welcome to my channel, Random Realm. Let's take another dive into the archives for another fascinating video. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. This video covers the Battle of Aachen, Germany, the first German city to fall to the Allies in World War II. The film didn't have any narration, so I've given it a go myself. Anyway, let's watch for ourselves. This interesting scene captures a still very dangerous situation for a US infantryman with his gun at the ready as he moves down the bombed-out, rubble-filled streets. Here we have a soldier with a wire reel on his back, stringing wire as he advances along the street. Again, a very dangerous job being in the open like this. You can see the urgency in his work. We now find ourselves filming from inside a bombed-out store, watching soldiers with jeeps across the street carrying out their duties of guarding a building. Maybe their headquarters, but to be honest, it's unclear to me. But it appears to be a building of some importance to them. We see German prisoners removing the dead from a house. Several US medics help in their evacuation. And here German prisoners with a body on a stretcher walk away from a building. I'm sure this wouldn't be a pleasant task, especially if the body has been exposed to the elements for a few days. In this part of the film, we see two M4 tanks advancing through the streets and occasionally stop to fire at any movement they spot. The tanks are closely followed behind by US infantrymen. This strategy is such an important part to flush out any German enemy dug in. But again, this is a very dangerous part of being a soldier, because you find yourself completely exposed to any well-dug-in enemy. And the enemy take full advantage of the situation to pick off any exposed troops. But with the caveat of exposing their own positions, so very much cat and mouse. We can hear the artillery in the distance and can see the bomb damage to buildings, but the tanks continue on with their maneuvers through the streets. These are wonderful historic scenes, although I wouldn't like to be there myself. For those people watching that don't know the details of this battle, let me help give you a brief outline. On the 15th of October 1944, the battle was nearing its brutal end. The city had become a symbol of Germany's collapsing Western Front. Aachen, near Germany's border with Belgium and the Netherlands, was the first major German city attacked by Allied forces. The battle began in early October as the US First Army pushed into the Reich. The German defenders, led by Colonel Gerhard Wilk, were ordered to hold the city at all costs. Thousands of civilians were trapped as fighting turned the city into a battlefield. After heavy urban combat, American troops captured key positions. The defenders then surrendered on the 21st of October 1944, making it the first German city to fall to the Western Allies. The battle showed what was coming. The war had reached Germany itself. The city's fall opened the way for the Allies toward the Rhine and the final months of World War II. Just for reference, while the infantrymen and tanks inside the city streets were American, the wider battle featured broader Allied coalition elements. air support, Allied air forces, including the British Royal Air Force that had launched heavy bombing raids against the city earlier in the war to destroy its industrial infrastructure. In fact, the entire operation was coordinated under the Supreme Headquarters Allied Expeditionary Force, led by General Dwight D. Eisenhower, so very much a joint operation. Today, Aachen is a thriving German city near the borders of Belgium and the Netherlands. But after the war, it was a city in ruins. The city faced a massive rebuilding effort. The historic center, including parts of the famous cathedral, had to be restored. The city became part of West Germany in 1949, a city center of science and innovation. Its university grew into one of Europe's leading technical universities, shaping the city's future in engineering and research. And because of its location at the meeting point of Germany, Belgium, and the Netherlands, the city became a symbol of European cooperation, especially after borders became easier to cross. Today, it combines medieval history with modern technology. From the cathedral to cutting-edge research, the city shows how a place can rebuild, adapt, and move forward. This last shot shows a soldier seated near the wreckage of a building, speaking on his handheld radio. I often wonder if these soldiers survived the war, and what sort of life they managed to have after such terrible sights. Thanks very much for watching. Please like and subscribe for more interesting videos just like this one.